Hello, Aries, and welcome to your July 2020 Taroscope. I'm Brittany Monet. If you are new to my channel, what I like to do is, my cat's about to jump up on this bed, and watch her walk through the spread. Come on, little lady. Thanks. So yes, I'm Brittany Monet, and if you're new to my channel, what I like to do is I shuffle 8 cards and then a 9th card off camera because I record everything on my phone and then from my phone upload directly to YouTube. And so because of that, to save time, and so it's not Nala, are you serious? And yes, she's named Nala like the Lion King for those of you. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. She's really gonna just be sitting and chilling with us. Okay, Aries. So this is for Aries placements. So Aries Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and even Mercury, because Mercury is how we communicate. So let's get into this read. So your first card, your overall energy card, is the Devil card, which can represent a Capricorn. So you could have Capricorn placements, or you could be dealing with someone who has Capricorn placements. However, this card is it could be about like being in a toxic situations, whether it's a toxic work environment, a toxic home environment, a toxic friendship, romantic relationship. Or this could be about something being like seductive, or someone is, trying to seduce you. It could go good or bad in the terms of if it has to do with seduction, but I would be careful. And then it's also like about temptation, something being tempting. Okay, that is the overall energy. So that could be energy that you kind of came into the beginning of this month, or it's still kind of towards the beginning of this month, or coming into it in the middle, towards the end. But this is the overall energy. And her tail is just gonna be hanging. Okay, so your first card though is the Fool in reverse, which this card is about like being cautious and not like thinking about before you dive into anything. It's like, if there's something you really want to dive into but you're not sure about, this is like a really think about it, weigh all your options before doing anything, whether it is friendship, finance wise, romantic, what have you. Like, be cautious. And if you are going to do something, just know that you are doing something, you could be doing something really risky and it might not pay off. When it's in reverse, this is about like you need to be cautious because it's not the time to just kind of blindly leap into things. It could be relationships. Don't get too invested in a new relationship. Be careful because like there could be some toxic energy going around, which is, you have the Devil card. So this is just like be very careful what you do and what you get into, and make sure you are fully aware of what you're getting yourself into before you dive in, okay? Caution to the wind, y'all. I mean, be cautious, not like, Okay, I hope that made sense. So the next card is the Queen of Wands, which wands do represent fire signs, which would be you, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. If you aren't dealing with another fire sign, this card, the Queen of Wands, to me is like the feminine energy of, the fire signs, which I don't like to apply gender because I know that, a man could be watching this. So anyways, though, this card is, to me about passion, chemistry, creativity, all in the good way because it's upright. So you might have a lot of things that are like passionate or creative that looks tempting, but it's kind of like you might want to heed caution because your next card is the Hierophant, which to me, even this does represent a Taurus, by the way. So you might be dealing with a Taurus. You might have Taurus placements. But to me, I feel like you want to really like look at everything, look at the if you're getting any like contracts. I don't know why. Some of you may be getting a new job. So just make sure you know like what you're getting into with this new job, or you may be getting a house or something. But really make sure you know the laws of what you're doing and getting into, so you don't get caught up in something just because like everything looks new and shiny and warm. You know, there could be some hidden underlying things that you're missing. Okay? Which I do think some of you are, because we have the King of Swords in reverse, which to me, there could also be a lack of communication right now because swords represent air signs, which air signs are known for, you know, being very talkative, communicative people who are good with their words, typically. So the King of Swords, and I forgot the other air signs to mention, would be Libra, Aries, and Gemini. You could be dealing with them. You could have those placements, but yeah, I think right now is not like really. It's not a time to throw caution to the wind because I think there's a lot of disconnect in terms of dialogue, in terms of like having the ability to stay firm and like know when to like cut things out of your life and knowing when to like not cut things out of your life, or knowing when you need to, you know, set boundaries and all of that kind of stuff. Like there's just a lack of that. There's a lack of also, I think, conversations happening, or, you know, like words aren't coming the way they should. You know, Mercury goes retrograde so much that, you know, I think this year is the year where the planets are keeping in weird positions. So just be very careful with everything, okay? The next card is the King of Pentacles in reverse, which the Pentacles do represent earth signs, which would be Capricorn, which you already had the Capricorn card right there, which is the Devil card again. Virgo. No, you didn't get the Virgo card. And then the Taurus card, which would be the Hierophant. So some of you really are probably either have heavy earth sign placements, or you might really be dealing with some air signs, or may having more issues with work or finance or career this month, because Pentacles, aside from representing earth signs, it does have to do with career, finance, work, and also like solid foundations and things like that. But the King of Pentacles to me in reverse is someone who, you know, is maybe letting their guard down a little bit, because upright, when I see the King of Pentacles, is someone who has all this stuff and all this abundance, but they kind of maybe don't want to share it with people. They don't want to let people in. So to me, in reverse, I could see it being the opposite of someone who might not be so greedy, or someone who's coming out of being like greedy and things like that. You could have really dealt with someone who, you know, earth signs are very guarded people, especially Capricorns. So I don't know if any of you Aries out there are dealing with a Capricorn or have dealt with a Capricorn, but they can be really guarded, and because of that, you know, it can cause issues and things like that. They might not be as openly passionate. They don't, or sometimes doesn't feel like they're as openly passionate as other signs are. We do have the Empress card in reverse, which this is another card that can represent earth signs, but this card represents many things. It could be you just not being in your power, male or female. You not being in your power, not being your best self, and kind of like, you know, questioning yourself and having low self-esteem right now. It could be that. It could be either you or the other person doesn't feel like they're an ideal partner, ideal person to be in a relationship with, or you don't view that person that way, or they don't view you that way. I'm obviously going to clarify to get a better understanding, but that is kind of what is going on based on this. We do have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, which to me, this card is about anxiety. You can be anxious about how it could be work, it could be romantic, friendship, You're just very anxious, lots of anxieties right now going around. And again, Pentacles, this whole bottom row is like all earth sign energy. Then you have the Queen of Pentacles, upright. So to me, the Queen of Pentacles is someone who is very nurturing, who can lay solid and good foundations, who has a good work ethic, could represent motherhood, fertility, also I would say home. So some of you may have some situations I need to take care of with home, or you may be coming into a place of where you're a little bit more nurturing, or the person you're dealing with is a little bit more nurturing or more grounded and having that solid foundation going on. But you do have the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles both in this read so far. So when you have the King and Queen of the same suit, usually I would say more leaning towards romance stuff, that it could be someone who maybe your person, or maybe just someone you're currently romantically involved with, and it's just confirming that there are for sure at least two people involved in the situation. Okay? So let's do some clarifying now. Hold on, I'm gonna have to turn it just a little so I can see better. Can you see her face? She's like laying all funny. Okay. What is the okay? Why do we have the Devil as the overall energy for Aries for July 2020? Okay. And you have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. So yeah, there is a situation that maybe you thought was your Ten of Pentacles, or the other person thought was their Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is similar to the Ten of Cups, where like it's your most ideal situation, but this one isn't just romance. It's like it also represents like career, finance, home, having a good home, having like living where you have always wanted to live, having the ideal romantic relationship, if that's something that would make your life feel complete, having the dream job, having the car, if you wanted a dog, kid, like all of that. It's all the whole 10 yards, but it's in reverse. And with it clarifying the Devil card, I do think it could be a romantic situation, or definitely there's something toxic involved. That is why the situation is not working out at all. Like I said earlier, there's some toxicity. Is that how you say it? Going around. She look crazy in this camera. Nala, you look crazy. Alright. Okay, why is the Fool in reverse in this read for Aries for July 2020? Okay, we got the Queen of Pentacles that just fell out in reverse. So yeah, again, with the Queen of Pentacles being in reverse, clarifying the Fool card in reverse, I do think that you need to be careful that this is a situation or where it's not so nurturing. There's nothing that can grow here. There's no solid foundations being built. It doesn't feel like a good like home type of vibe. Yeah, it's just not a good situation. So be cautious. Just be very cautious, or don't even get involved. Okay? But why is the Queen of Wands upright in this read for Aries for July 2020? Ooh. Okay, you have Temperance. So the Temperance card does represent a Sagittarius. So some of you may be dealing with a Sagittarius, or you could have a Sagittarius placement. If not, this card is about needing to have like balance and patience. So some of you need to maybe balance like because you have a lot of Pentacles energy going on, maybe needing to know when to balance like creative stuff and things that are more like passion projects with actual work, or needing to balance, your romance life as well as like other aspects of your life. or just needing to have patience in knowing that things are going to come to you. You just got to be a little bit more patient and not be so intense and wanting things to move quickly. Because fire energy and air energy, which would be either wand energy or sword energy, is very like about quick movements. Water energy is fast too, but like which would be cups, but it's a little bit slower than those ones. And then the slowest one would be pentacles, which would be earth energy. Yeah, I think some of you need to be a little bit more cautious going forward in this month. Why is the Hierophant in this read for Aries for July 2020? So, if you are trying to check, if you're checking out videos, oh, these two fell. Oh, this is just two. No, yes, two. If you want to look for other videos that are your placements right now, depending on, if you look right from when this video is uploaded, the other signs that are up are all the water signs, all the earth signs, and then the other fire signs. Air signs are the last ones that I have to do for this month. Okay, so clarifying the Hierophant upright is the Justice card, which does represent a Libra. So you could have Libra placements, or you could be dealing with someone who has Libra placements. But either way, with the Justice card, it's like a situation is going to have justice. There is something coming out of all this chaos and madness that I kind of see with your overall read. Like, something good is going to come out from it. Like, things are going the way it's supposed to be. But you do have the Eight of Cups also clarifying it, which the Eight of Cups is about like be careful about walking away from something, because someone else can come in and swoop it up, you know? And that's why, yes, be cautious and don't necessarily like throw yourself at, like, don't just like leap into it, like, yeah, you know, be cautious, because based on the cards I'm seeing, is like you need to be cautious. But for some of you, it actually might be a better situation. Some of you, this situation isn't as bad. You just need to take your time and be slow and let things kind of temperance, have patience, and let them build naturally. For some of you and others of you, it's like you need to stay away from it. But which one of you, who that applies to, I can't say for sure, because this is a general read. So you guys be careful, be cautious, don't just fly into something, but also don't walk away from something that actually could have been really great, and then someone else realizes it and swoops it up. Okay, why is the King of Swords here in reverse? Why is the King of Swords in reverse in this read for Aries for July 2020? Okay, interesting. We have the Star card, which represents Aquarius. So you've almost had all the air signs show up now, because you've had Libra with Justice card, and now you have Aquarius with the Star card, which is very interesting. So you could be dealing with an Aquarius. I mean, yeah, you could be dealing with Aquarius. You could be dealing with a Libra. You can have those placements. The other person can have those placements. But the Star card is about like either you or the person sees you or the other person as being wonderful and amazing, and you know, some of you could have like, you know, star-like quality in terms of like, you know, celebrity stuff, but and this also card is like about good things kind of coming your way, like, you know, it's a good card, but it's clarifying the King of Swords in reverse. So you might be having some like communication issues with an Aries, or you might be having communication issues with someone who normally thinks like the world of you, or you normally think the world of this person, but right now you guys are kind of like butting heads. It could be that. It could be that for some of you. Why is the King of Pentacles in reverse in this read for Aries? Okay. Gosh, you guys keep having like 2 or 3 cards that want to pop out. So, okay, I think some of you are coming out of a certain energy, because you have the 7 of Pentacles upright, and then you have the 9 of Swords in reverse. So, I think some of you are coming out of a situation where you're pretty proud of how things turned out. Like you realized either, hey, things turned out exactly how they were supposed to, and I'm proud. Some of you may have put in some hard work and be like, hey, like my hard work really paid off, and you're no longer being like, you're no longer being worried. You're not no longer worrying about things. You're no longer like staying up all night thinking about it. You're not cautious. You're not having anxiety anymore. For some of you. I think that could be going on. So why is the Empress card here in reverse? Alright, so it's the Magician card. Some of you need to really learn how to master all areas of your life, how to see yourself as being like a wonderful, amazing person. You know, knowing that you got it in like, you know, if something goes wrong, you're like, all right, okay, let me take the time I need. If it's something that you do need to take time to heal from, like, all right, I need to take time to heal from this and then get back right up to it. You know, this is a card of being able to balance all areas of your life, and I think that's where you need to be. Because clarifying the Empress, and I think some of you aren't feeling like, you know, an Empress or Emperor or a magician, and you need to get there, because this is like trying to remind you that you are awesome, you're amazing, or the person you're dealing with is wonderful and amazing, and they need to see that for themselves though. Okay, why is the Seven of Pentacles in reverse in this read? Now that you're just stretching all over this read. All right. So we have the Hermit card. So I said the Seven of Pentacles was about anxiety. So you do have the Hermit card, which this is about needing to, we obviously keep to yourself. Either you or the person you're dealing with, they need to take time, or you need to take time to be alone and rethink about things, think about where you want to go. Really taking that time to be alone. Some of you could be dealing with the Virgo or have Virgo placements, which you have now had all three. So some of you could be dealing with a Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. I also saw Aquarius, a Libra, and then I did say that you did have the Queen of Wands, so you could be dealing with other fire signs, but there's not too much fire in this read. Okay. Can we clarify the Queen of Pentacles? Oof. All right, you guys got the Tower card. I think Capricorn got this last month. So some of you may be dealing with Capricorn, because Capricorn did have Tower moment. So a Tower moment is something, I think something's going to change. It's going to be a big shakeup, but it's going to be hopefully for the better. It is going to tear down something so something better in its place can come along. All right. Is there anything else that Aries needs to know for July 2020? All right. We have the Seven of Cups. Be careful what you wish for. Again, or before like jumping into anything, make sure you know exactly what you're jumping into, which is what I kind of said before. Be very cautious. And don't worry, y'all, I still have to do your sex magic cards, romance angels, and notes from the universe. So this read is not over yet. All right. What else? What else does Aries need to know for July 2020? What else does Aries need to know for July 2020? Give me 3 more cards, please. Okay. We have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Swords in reverse. So yeah, some of you are in a place where you're just not having the ability to cut out things that are no longer serving you, cutting out things that are toxic, knowing when to set boundaries. Some of you are really having trouble doing that, and I think y'all need to get around to it, because it's just gonna keep making more toxic things and coming your way. Okay, what else do we have for Aries for July 2020? you know, Aries, if you are an Aries who normally watches my videos, I know the last one, I think it was the last one or the one before that, I was kind of like, hey, you guys, you're in this situation where either you or the other person is no longer interested, so stop, like, holding on to it. So I want to say I'm sorry if it ever feels like I'm ever really harsh or anything. It's just sometimes the cards are like, hey, this situation is really bad, and it's like, get out of it. And I want to convey that to those of you who it applies to, because again, general reads, so this isn't going to apply to every single person watching these videos. So we have the Ace of Wands in reverse, which to me, yeah, there's a lack of chemistry, there's a lack of creation, there's a lack of passion, there can be a lot of arguing and being hot-headed and just things not really clicking. You know, it's not going the way it should. Okay, and one last card. What does Aries need to know for July 2020? All right. Okay, and we have the Ten of Wands in reverse. So I think some of you are still kind of stuck in this feeling of defeatedness and kind of not knowing if you need to take a rest or what to do. So some of you are very stuck right now. Which, I mean, again, I know that a lot of people feel stuck just because of the way everything is right now in the world. And that's fine. But, you know, also don't purposely be putting yourself in situations that aren't good for you and aren't serving you, okay? And if you're a cross watcher and you're dealing with an Aries who's doing this to you, don't deal with it, okay? All right. Sex magic. What do we have for Aries for July 2020? Give me 4 cards, please. For Aries for July 2020. Give me 4 cards for Aries for July 2020. There's 1. Okay, we have the Knave of Wands, which I'll tell you what that means in a second. Okay. 3 more cards. Oh. All right, so you have the Ace of Pentacles. Give me 2 more cards, please, for Aries for July 2020. Oh, she flew. Then we have the 4 Chalices. All right, and give me 1 more. Oh. And hold on, let me see what it says. Okay, and the Knight of, let's say Swords, Knight of Swords in reverse. All right. Let's figure this out. So, I still, if you guys have been paying attention to my videos, I still have to look it up because these don't mean the same thing as the other deck, and trying to remember all of this stuff is a lot to remember. Okay. Wait, I said the Knave of Wands, right? Okay, I want to make sure that's what that means because sometimes like that don't make sense. So Knave of Wands is about abandon. Okay, the eccentricities of character do not necessarily lead to unreliability. You must look beyond appearances to see the essence of feelings. So this obviously is about abandon in the sense of like abandoning all care and just like throwing caution to the wind and doing what you will, right? Because they getting it on. They about to get it on in this open area out in public, right? But this is also saying like, don't let appearances fool you into thinking something is necessarily good or bad. This is why you really need to make sure and understand what you're getting involved with. Really get to know the person. Yeah, don't just get caught up in something that looks nice, or don't be like, no, I'm not gonna, give this person a chance because maybe they don't look nice, So the next one, Ace of Pentacles, which this one is about gratification. A complete and gratifying relationship unites mind, flesh, and spirit. Love is rooted in the intimacy that follows intercourse. So, yes, this is obviously about gratification sexually, but this is also talking about a relationship that really works well. And it's not just one thing that makes, you know, a relationship work well. Like, yeah, obviously having sexual chemistry works well, but then also you want to be emotionally and like mentally, spiritually also in the same place, because if you're not, it's like it's not gonna work. You know, you need all areas to work. And you know, if you want a good flowing happy relationship, and if you're just looking for good sexual chemistry, you and this person may have it. You know, you may have this great sexual gratification with this person. You guys may be sexually just throwing caution to the wind and doing whatever you want. But, like, if you want something more serious, you need to really make sure that, you know, that this situation is good for you. Or that it's good for them if they're watching, you know. Make sure, you know, you're not putting yourself in a situation that you think is good, but you don't know for sure because you're too caught up in other things. So we have the four of chalices, which this one is about habit. Immobility, habit, and indifference caused by routine must be fought. So if you're in a relationship where you guys are kind of in a place where you're like just going through the routines of what your guys' days are, you need to be careful, because you could be in a point where it's just so routine and so boring that it's now becoming like are you actually invested in this relationship or not? You need to ask yourself that. Is this just something that has become so routine for you? And this could even apply to someone single. Have you like just so become so routine in like being a certain way, and you're not questioning, like, you know, is this actually where I should be? But I'm not saying go crazy and do wild stuff, and, you know, but like, just make sure you're being smart about things. Make sure if you are in a relationship that you are communicating your wants and needs, and they are communicating them to you. And the last one was, I said, the Knight of Swords in reverse. Little Miss Nala over there. Okay, Knight of Swords. Okay, Knight of Swords is about, it says in reverse, so taming. So there might be a lack of taming. Hunting is an old age sport. The ends that justify the means. What does it say on the next page? But today's prey will be tomorrow's hunter, and vice versa. So, look, since there's a lack of taming, there could be a lack of taming. There could be a lack of, like how it's said about the hunter and the huntee. There could be no one really chasing after each other. Like, you're just kind of, like I said, some of you are very much routinely just going with things, and that may not be what you're really into, or might not really be invested in it. So, oh, sorry, that was probably loud. I slapped my hand on my knee. But yeah, some of you are stuck in a routine, and I think sometimes, because it did talk about like toxicity with like the other cards that you got, be very careful that you're not putting yourself in a situation that maybe wasn't toxic before, but now it's become toxic because it's so mundane, and neither of you are speaking up about how boring things are, like, you know, and you need to change it up. Communication. Okay, romance angels. What do we have for Aries placements for July 2020? Oh, she want to fall. So this says, forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. So yeah, some of you do need to forgive and heal in order to, yes, experience love. Others of you may have already done this, but, you know. Okay, what else we have for Aries? Okay. It says codependency. Addictions are affecting your love life right now. So this could be many things. It could be actually like, addictions to alcohol and drugs and, other things. It could be you are addicted to relationships, and instead of being in relationships that are actually good for you, you kind of end up in relationships that aren't. You can just be codependent on one person where you aren't able to function without them, and it gets to a point where it's hindering your love life. It could be, or it could be the other person. So be very careful, because that can create toxic situations. And again, there was a lot of cards that was just pointing out that things could be toxic. So be very careful about codependency tendencies. All right, give me 2 more romance angel cards, please, for Aries for July 2020. Okay. Finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. So some of you, it's because like you're supposed to meet someone at work and they're not there yet, or you're not there yet, and that's why you haven't met each other. It could literally be you don't have enough money to, maybe you're supposed to live in a certain area and you can't afford to live there yet. So because of that, you have not met your person yet. It could literally be dating is expensive and you just don't have enough money to go on dates right now. And also, let's look at the way the world is right now. It's kind of hard it's kind of hard for some people right now to be in a good financial place or to have a career. And if you are supposed to meet someone through your job, or because you're in a financially better place to go places and do things, and makes sense why some of you that is affecting your love life. Or it could be you're in a relationship with someone and you are spending too much time at work, or you're not working enough and they're mad at you for it, or Okay, and the last one is children. Your love life is being affected by children. So this could be you and the person you're with one of you wanna have kids and the other one doesn't. I feel like I gave this speech to someone else last time, but my most recent relationship that ended because literally of this situation where I said one of us wanted kids and the other one didn't. And we had very deep feelings for each other, but like despite how we felt about each other, we realized that it was always going to be one of us would end up feeling resentful towards the other. Like, the one who wanted kids would feel resentful towards the other person who didn't want kids, and they decided to compromise and not have kids, or vice versa. So, that could be one scenario. And the thing is, let me tell you, because I wanted to talk, I don't know who I gave this talk to. If it was to you guys, I'm sorry, you're hearing it again. But me and him had, the most compatible chart. I'm not even joking. So I'm a Gemini sun and moon with Leo rising. He was an Aries sun, which is funny because this is an Aries video. He's an Aries sun with Aquarius rising and a Leo moon, right? Those are all compatible. And then our Venus signs were both Aries, and our Mars signs with both Pisces. And we both had our Saturn and I think Uranus were both Capricorn. I'm telling you, me and his chart were hardcore compatible. But that doesn't change other things. And I've told people, just because you and someone have a compatible chart doesn't mean that's all going to work out, because there's other things that come into play. And the only issue that came into play was children. That was it. So, so some of you, if it's not the situation that I just talked about, it could be there's someone has a secret child and the other person doesn't know about it, and it's going to cause some mess. it could be children are, again, because finances, children are expensive and it's hard to pay for children when you're not in a great financial situation. It could be that. Or it could be that you guys need to bring a more carefree childlike vibe back to your love life. And I'm sorry if, Aries, you were the people who got that rant about, like, the children situation. But, you know, and about compatibility in charts, I just feel like it is something that people need to know. That you and someone can really actually have those feelings for each other, have that great connection, really have that connection, get along well, have fun together, and then, you know, don't agree on something like that. Because at the end of the day, regardless, it's going to make it not work, you know? Regardless of how good everything else flows. Okay, let's do notes from the universe now, Aries. All right, notes for the universe for Aries for July 2020. Okay, the first one is prepare to be astounded. Ooh. Send them love, wish them peace, see them happy. Everyone, always, forever. And prepare to be astounded, the universe. P.S. Oh man. And will you ever become a big-time manifester? So yeah, some of you may need to start manifesting good and positive situations into your life. If you want to know more about manifesting, I would recommend following, I think she's DJ Light on Twitter. I can't remember her exact Twitter handle, but she is someone really good because she talks a lot about manifesting. Okay. What else do we have for Aries for July 2020? Oh, these are just like not coming out. These ones are harder to shuffle. Okay, this one says, keep it simple. Old souls use words very sparingly, except, of course, for I, love, thank, you, wow, now, and cool. Wow, I love you now, the universe. P.S., which sounds much better than wow, now, I love you. Sequence is important. I feel like that's pretty obvious. Keep it simple. Say I love you. Say thank you to people. Say it now. You know, tell people how you feel if you can. Be honest with people. Ooh, that's way too many. Where are we at time? Oh, this is not too bad. Okay. Jeez. Love in spite of it all. I feel like everyone has gotten this card at least once from all the Taroscopes I've done. And it says, before this odyssey ever began, there was you, your best friends, and wide-eyed curiosity among you who would be the first to leap, the first to forget, the first to kiss, the first to tell, the first to fall, and the first to get back up, and the first to remember that it all began with a dare to love in spite of it all. Is that you, Murgatroyd, the universe? P.S. I remember the glint in all three of your eyes. So remember, this is about, despite everything, regardless of what happens, is that you need to stay open to love, okay? You can't close it out, even when things go wrong. You may need to leave toxic situations and end them, or relationships may come to an end, but you still have to get back up and you still have to love again because, you know, you don't want to become a bitter, sad person. If you can avoid becoming a bitter, sad person, avoid it. All right, and one last card for Aries. All right, I guess it's this one. This one says, hubba hubba. You know that dreamy look of deep, soulful love you've sometimes seen in the eyes of another as they gaze into your own? Expect a lot more of it. Woohoo! The universe. Ooh, so some of you, I think after you get out of this situation that is potential, some of you, this situation is potentially toxic. Once you get out of it and you kind of come into a place where you believe in yourself and you're just in a better place, I think things will line up for some of you. Some of you are maybe already closer to that than others. But Aries, overall, honestly, I think this was a much better read, at least with the last several cards. It kind of turned around. So I'm really rooting for you, Aries, and I hope you have a great July 2020. And we will see you next month. Alrighty, bye-bye.